10 signs your cat is secretly protecting you. It is 3 o'clock in the early morning. You are pulled from a deep sleep by the faint rhythmic sound of soft paws padding across your hardwood floor yet again. Your cat is performing their nightly circuit, pausing deliberately at every doorway, planting themselves like a statue beside the window, ears swiveling and rotating like miniature satellite dishes. You have probably asked yourself, are they just being weird? Are they hunting invisible prey? Here is what is actually happening. Your cat is protecting you. Welcome to Meowrange, our cozy podcast-style channel where we share fascinating facts, heartwarming stories, and surprising insights about our beloved cats. Think of this as your warm cup of tea moment, where we dive deep into the wonderful world of feline behavior together. And today, we are uncovering something truly special, something that has been happening right under your nose. By the end of this video, you will understand why your cat's seemingly strange behaviors aren't quirks at all. They are actually signs of an ancient, powerful, protective instinct that your little feline friend has been expressing every single day. Before we begin, I need to ask you something important. If you have ever felt that inexplicable bond with your cat, the sense that they just get you, then this video was made for you. Hit that subscribe button right now, not for me, but for yourself. Because understanding what your cat is really doing for you will deepen your relationship in ways you cannot imagine yet. And if something in this video makes you think, wait, my cat does that too? Leave a like so other cat lovers can discover this. Trust me, you will be grateful you stayed. Most people think cats are aloof, independent creatures who merely tolerate our presence. But science tells us a completely different story. In 2019, researchers at the University of Oregon conducted a groundbreaking study that revealed something remarkable. Cats form secure attachments to their human caregivers in much the same way that dogs and even human children do. Published in the journal Current Biology, this research showed that over 60% of cats display secure attachment behaviors. But here is where it gets interesting. When an animal forms a secure attachment, something else emerges: the instinct to protect what they value. Your cat isn't just bonded to you. They have designated you as part of their protected territory, their family unit. Just like their wild ancestors who protected their kin from predators, your domestic cat has maintained these same protective instincts, simply adapted for the modern world. The difference is, we do not always recognize protection when it comes in a 7-pound furry package. We miss the signs because we are looking for dog-like behaviors, barking at strangers, physically intervening, obvious displays of guarding. Cat protection is subtler, more strategic, and often more sophisticated. Let me show you what I mean. Sign number 1, the night watch. Have you noticed your cat becomes more active at night, especially when the house is quiet and you are asleep? This isn't random restlessness. Your cat is conducting security patrols, checking windows, monitoring doors, investigating any unusual sounds or scents. This behavior is rooted in their crepuscular nature. Cats are naturally most active during dawn and dusk, the times when predators historically hunted. A study on feline sleep patterns published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior revealed that domestic cats often adjust their sleep cycles to match their human companions, but they maintain periods of vigilance throughout the night. They are literally taking shifts to watch over you. When your cat sits at the foot of your bed at 2 in the morning, perfectly still and alert, they aren't being creepy. They are being your guardian. Your cat isn't being restless. They are being vigilant, protecting you while you sleep, completely unaware of their dedicated service. Sign number 2, strategic positioning. Pay attention to where your cat positions themselves throughout the day. Do they often sit between you and the door? Do they place themselves at the top of the stairs or on furniture that gives them a clear view of entry points? This isn't coincidence. It is tactical positioning. Research from the University of Lincoln on feline spatial behavior shows that cats deliberately choose elevated or strategic positions that allow them to monitor their environment for potential threats. When your cat places themselves between you and the door, they are controlling the access point to you. They have positioned themselves as the first line of defense. In the wild, a mother cat will always position herself between her kittens and any potential danger. Your cat is applying the same ancient programming to protect you. They have assessed the vulnerabilities in your home and assigned themselves guard duty. Sign number 3. The stare down. This one unnerves people. Your cat suddenly stops and stares intensely at what appears to be absolutely nothing: a corner, a wall, an empty doorway. Their pupils dilate, their ears go forward, every muscle tensed. It isn't ghosts. It is your cat's superior sensory abilities detecting something you cannot perceive yet. Cats can hear frequencies up to 64,000 hertz, almost 2 octaves higher than humans and even higher than dogs. They can detect the ultrasonic calls of rodents, the minute sounds of insects moving inside walls, the vibrations of someone approaching your home long before you hear footsteps. Their vision in low light is 6 to 8 times better than ours. When your cat is staring at nothing, they are actually processing sensory information that is completely invisible to you. That mouse in your walls? Your cat hears it. That person walking up your driveway? Your cat detected the vibration. They aren't being weird. They are demonstrating an alert system far more sophisticated than any security camera. And here is what is truly beautiful. They aren't just detecting these things for themselves. Watch what happens after your cat does their intense stare down. Often, they will look back at you as if checking whether you have noticed the potential threat too. They are trying to alert you, trying to keep you informed and safe. We have covered 3 signs, and already the pattern is forming. But these visible, obvious behaviors are just the beginning. The most powerful protective behaviors your cat exhibits happen in moments you might mistake for something completely different, like when your cat seems to be ignoring you entirely. That isn't indifference. That is something far more profound. And it is going to change everything you thought you knew about what your cat is really doing when they are in the same room as you. The subtle and misunderstood signs. You are working at your desk, completely absorbed in what you are doing. Your cat walks into the room, looks at you briefly, then settles on the opposite side of the room with their back partially turned. They seem completely disinterested in you. You might even feel a little rejected. But what if I told you this is actually one of the most profound expressions of trust and protection your cat can offer? Let me explain something that will completely shift your perspective. Sign number 4, the proximity paradox. This is the behavior that confuses cat owners more than almost any other. Your cat chooses to be in the same room as you, but doesn't seek attention. Doesn't curl up on your lap, doesn't even look at you most of the time. They just exist in your space, seemingly doing their own thing. Many people interpret this as aloofness or indifference. It is actually the opposite. In 2015, a landmark study published in the journal Animal Cognition explored what researchers call secure base behavior in cats. The findings were remarkable. Cats who felt strongly bonded to their owners would often stay in proximity without demanding direct interaction. Why? Because they were using their owners as a secure base, a safe point from which to monitor their environment. Think about it from your cat's perspective. If they are curled up sleeping on your lap, their attention is focused inward on rest and comfort. But when they position themselves nearby while remaining alert, they can simultaneously be close to you and maintain vigilance over the space. They are protecting you while giving you the freedom to work, read, or relax. This behavior mirrors what large wildcats do in nature. A mother leopard doesn't constantly hover over her cubs. Instead, she positions herself strategically where she can rest, but still monitor threats. Your domestic cat is doing exactly the same thing. They aren't ignoring you. They are guarding you. And here's the beautiful part. This behavior shows incredible trust. Your cat feels secure enough with you to relax partially, but they are staying alert on your behalf. They trust you won't put them in danger, so they can focus their attention outward, watching for anything that might threaten either of you. Have you noticed this with your cat? Drop a comment and let me know. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear your stories about this behavior. Does your cat follow you from room to room but keep their distance? Now you know why. Sign number 5. The alert response. Now let's talk about what happens when you are vulnerable. They become more vigilant, more attentive, more present. This isn't your imagination. It is a documented behavioral response. Cats are extraordinarily perceptive to changes in their environment, and that includes changes in you. Research has shown that cats can detect alterations in human body temperature, breathing patterns, and even chemical changes in our scent when we are unwell or stressed. A study on animal-assisted therapy, published in Frontiers in Psychology, demonstrated that cats show heightened attentiveness to humans, displaying signs of physical or emotional distress. When you are sleeping, you are in your most vulnerable state. You cannot see threats. You cannot hear as well. You cannot react quickly. Your cat knows this instinctively. That is why many cats become noticeably more protective during these times. They will position themselves closer to you. They will be more alert to sounds and movements. And they will often interrupt their own rest periods to check on you. One cat owner shared this touching experience. I had terrible flu last winter and was bedridden for 3 days. My cat, Oscar, who normally spends his days lounging in various sunny spots around the house, barely left my bedroom. He sat on the dresser facing the door the entire time, only coming down for food and necessities. The moment I felt better and got up, he went right back to his normal routine. It was like he had been on duty. This is your cat's protective instinct in full display. They recognize your vulnerability and respond by increasing their guardianship. It is one of the most touching demonstrations of how deeply they care about your well-being. Sign number 6. Body blocking. This sign is more active and easier to recognize once you know what to look for. Body blocking is when your cat physically places themselves between you and something they perceive as a potential threat. This could be a stranger at your door, another animal, or even an unfamiliar object in your home. The behavior is subtle but deliberate. Your cat doesn't necessarily act aggressive or dramatic. They simply position their body as a barrier. If someone new enters your home, watch where your cat goes. Often, they will move to a position between the visitor and you, or they will stay close to your legs, monitoring the stranger's movements. This behavior has deep roots in feline maternal instinct. Mother cats routinely place themselves between their kittens and any potential danger, even if that danger is just an unfamiliar scent or sound. Your cat is extending this protective behavior to you because they view you as part of their family unit, their responsibility to protect. Research on territorial behavior in domestic cats, published in the Journal of Feline Medicine and Surgery, confirms that cats maintain complex mental maps of their territory and the individuals within it. They categorize beings as familiar safe, familiar uncertain, or unfamiliar threat. When someone falls into that latter category, your cat's protective instincts activate. I have seen this countless times with my own cats. When delivery drivers come to the door, my typically friendly cat immediately positions herself in the hallway between me and the entrance. She isn't hiding. She is strategically placed. She is small, yes, but in her mind, she is ready to defend if necessary. The most remarkable part? Most cats do this even though they are fully aware they are smaller than the perceived threat. That takes courage. That takes dedication. That takes love. Sign number 7. Vocal warnings. Finally, let's talk about how your cat uses their voice to protect you. Cats have an incredibly sophisticated vocal repertoire. Researchers have identified at least 16 different vocal patterns that domestic cats use to communicate. But certain vocalizations are specifically reserved for alerting and warning. A 2009 study published in Current Biology explored cat-human vocal communication and found that cats modify their vocalizations based on context and intended message. The meow you hear when your cat wants breakfast is fundamentally different from the meow they use when something is wrong. The warning vocals are usually lower-pitched, more urgent, and often repetitive. Some cats will use a specific alert call that sounds different from anything else in their vocal range. If you hear your cat making unusual sounds, especially if those sounds are directed toward a specific location or object, they are trying to tell you something important. Pay attention to these moments. Your cat might be alerting you to something as serious as a gas leak they have detected with their sensitive nose, or something as simple as an unfamiliar animal outside the window. Either way, they are communicating a warning specifically for your benefit. The next time your cat vocalizes in an unusual way, don't dismiss it as random cat noise. Investigate. Check what they are focused on. You might be surprised by what you find and grateful that your little guardian was paying attention. But here is what I haven't told you yet. What if I said that some of the most protective things your cat does for you happen when you are not even aware you are in danger? The next signs will completely change how you see your cat's relationship with you. We are about to explore protections that go beyond the physical, beyond the obvious, into something that touches the very core of why our bonds with cats are so profound. The invisible and emotional protections. We have talked about the physical signs, the patrols, the positioning, the alerts. But now we are going deeper into something that many cat owners feel but struggle to explain. It is the sense that your cat just knows when something is wrong. That inexplicable moment when you are having the worst day of your life and your cat, who usually maintains their independent routine, suddenly appears by your side. This isn't coincidence. This is protection of a different kind. And the science behind it is absolutely fascinating. Sign number 8. Emotional support during stress. Have you ever noticed your cat appearing seemingly out of nowhere when you are upset, anxious, or going through a difficult time? Maybe you are crying. Maybe you are just sitting in heavy silence. And suddenly, there is your cat, not demanding anything, just present. This behavior has a scientific explanation that is both remarkable and deeply moving. Cats can detect cortisol, the stress hormone that humans release when we are anxious or upset. A study conducted by researchers at Asabu University in Japan found that cats are highly attuned to their owner's emotional states and can distinguish between different emotional expressions. They are literally reading your biochemical signals, but it goes further than detection. Cats respond to your stress by offering what can only be described as therapeutic intervention. And their primary tool? Purring. Here is where it gets truly incredible. The frequency of a cat's purr ranges between 25 and 50 hertz. Research, published in the Journal of the Acoustical Society of America, has shown that sound frequencies in this range promote healing in bones and tissues, reduce pain and swelling, and can even help with breathing difficulties. But perhaps most importantly, these frequencies have a calming effect on the human nervous system. When your cat purrs next to you during a stressful moment, they aren't just keeping you company. They are actively working to regulate your nervous system. Several studies on human-animal interaction have documented measurable decreases in blood pressure, heart rate, and cortisol levels when people spend time with purring cats. Think about the implications. Your cat senses your distress through chemical and behavioral cues. They respond by positioning themselves close to you and activating a specific frequency designed to calm and heal. This isn't random comfort. This is targeted therapeutic intervention. Dr. Elizabeth von Muegenthaler, a bioacoustics researcher, has studied purring extensively and believes that cats may have evolved this ability specifically because of its healing properties, both for themselves and for their social bonds. Your cat is literally trying to heal you when you are hurting, and they do this even when there is no immediate benefit to them. They come to you because your well-being matters to them. That isn't just attachment. That is protective care. Sign number 9, health monitoring. Now we venture into territory that sounds almost unbelievable until you look at the documented evidence. Cats have demonstrated the ability to detect serious health conditions in their human companions, sometimes before those humans are even aware something is wrong. Let me be absolutely clear. Cats are not medical devices, and they cannot replace proper health care. But the documented cases of cats detecting illness in their owners are too numerous and too well verified to ignore. There are multiple verified accounts of cats persistently focusing on specific areas of their owner's body, pawing at a particular spot, sniffing obsessively shortly before that person receives a diagnosis of cancer in that exact location. One famous case involved a cat named Pudding, who detected his owner's diabetic seizure and woke her son by pouncing on him repeatedly, saving her life. How is this possible? Cats have approximately 200 million scent receptors in their nasal cavity, about 40 times more than humans. Research has shown that certain diseases, including various cancers and diabetes, produce specific volatile organic compounds that can be detected through scent. Dogs have been trained to detect these compounds in medical settings, but cats appear to do this instinctively with their bonded humans. A study published in The Lancet discussed cases of animals detecting illness in humans, noting that cats showed particular sensitivity to changes in their owner's health status. The researchers documented instances where cats exhibited unusual behaviors that correlated with undiagnosed medical conditions. But here is what makes this truly remarkable. Cats don't just detect these changes. They try to alert you. A cat who normally sleeps downstairs suddenly insists on sleeping pressed against your chest where your lung infection is developing. A cat who usually avoids your feet becomes obsessed with pawing at your leg. They are trying to tell you something is wrong. Does this mean every time your cat sniffs you intensely, you should rush to the doctor? Of course not. But if your cat exhibits persistent, unusual attention to a specific part of your body, especially if it is out of character for them, it might be worth mentioning to your healthcare provider. Your cat cannot perform surgery or prescribe medication, but they can serve as an early warning system, potentially giving you precious time to seek help. Sign number 10, the ultimate guard. This final sign is the one that moves me most deeply. There are documented cases, real verified accounts, of cats placing themselves in genuine danger to protect their human companions. A cat who woke their sleeping owner during a house fire by persistently scratching and meowing until the person evacuated. A cat who alerted their owner to a gas leak by unusual frantic behavior. A cat who physically positioned themselves between their elderly owner and a venomous snake. What makes these actions so remarkable is that cats are by nature self-preserving creatures. Their instinct when faced with serious danger is typically to remove themselves from the situation. But in these documented cases, cats override that fundamental survival instinct because their bond with their human is stronger than their fear. Researchers studying feline cognition have found that cats form complex, emotional attachments that can rival those formed by traditionally loyal animals. A study in the journal Animal Cognition demonstrated that cats exhibit behaviors consistent with genuine concern for their human companions' welfare. The choice to stay when every instinct says run, to alert when silence would be safer, to physically place themselves between danger and their beloved human. these actions speak to something profound. They speak to love. They speak to loyalty. They speak to a depth of connection that we have consistently underestimated when it comes to cats. From the subtle act of sitting in the same room to maintain vigilance, all the way to risking their own safety for yours, cats demonstrate protective behaviors that deserve our recognition and gratitude. Now that you know these 10 signs, the question becomes more than just recognition. It becomes about reciprocity. What do we do with this knowledge? How should we respond to our cat's protective instincts? And what does this tell us about the depth of the bond we share? Because understanding is just the first step. The real transformation happens when we begin to honor this relationship with the same dedication our cats have been showing us all along, honoring the bond and moving forward together. So here we are, 10 signs, 10 different ways your cat has been silently, steadily protecting you, perhaps for years, while you went about your daily life completely unaware of their vigilant guardianship. The night patrols while you slept peacefully. The strategic positioning between you and potential threats. The emotional support during your darkest moments. All of it, every single action stemming from a bond deeper than most people ever realize exists between humans and cats. But knowing is only half the equation. Recognition without response is meaningless. So the question that matters most is this. Now that you understand what your cat has been doing for you, how do you honor that? How do you reciprocate the protection and care they have been offering all this time? Let me share something important with you. Your cat isn't asking for grand gestures or dramatic changes. What they need from you is much simpler and, in many ways, more profound. They need you to create an environment where they can continue being your protector without it causing them stress. They need you to acknowledge their efforts in the language they understand. Let's talk about how to do that. First, respect their space of vigilance. When your cat is in guard mode, sitting by the window, positioned between you and the door, alert and watchful, don't interrupt them unnecessarily. They are working. They are doing what they feel compelled to do to keep you safe. You can acknowledge them softly, maybe a gentle word or a slow blink, but let them maintain their post. They have chosen that position for a reason. Second, maintain consistent routines. Cats are creatures of pattern and predictability, and when they are acting as your guardian, they rely on routine to distinguish between normal and abnormal. When you keep consistent wake times, meal times, and daily patterns, you are giving your cat a baseline of safe normal to work from. This makes it easier for them to identify when something is genuinely wrong versus just different. Unpredictable schedules create stress for a cat who is trying to protect you. Third, respond to their alerts. When your cat exhibits those warning behaviors, the intense staring, the unusual vocalizations, the body blocking, take a moment to investigate. You don't need to panic, but show your cat that their communication matters. Check the window they are focused on. Look at the door they are guarding. Even if you don't find anything concerning, the act of checking validates your cat's protective instincts. It tells them, I trust your judgment. I am paying attention. Fourth, create a secure environment that reduces their protective stress. This might seem counterintuitive, but constant vigilance is exhausting. The more secure your home feels to your cat, the more they can balance protection with rest. This means providing high perches where they can observe without being vulnerable, ensuring windows and doors are secure, and minimizing sudden changes in the household. A cat who feels the environment is fundamentally safe can be a better guardian because they are in constant high alert. Fifth, recognize and gently acknowledge their protective actions. When your cat comes to comfort you during stress, let them. When they position themselves protectively, you can offer a soft word of thanks. Cats understand tone and energy far better than specific words. A calm, appreciative, thank you carries meaning for them. You are acknowledging their role and strengthening the bond that motivates their protection. Now, let me address something crucial. Not every cat will display all 10 of these signs, and that is completely okay. Each cat has their own personality, their own way of expressing care and protection. Some cats are obvious guardians, always on patrol. Others show their protection in quieter ways. Maybe just that emotional support during difficult times, or simply staying in the same room with you. Neither approach is better or more loving than the other. What matters isn't checking off all 10 behaviors on some list. What matters is recognizing that your cat, in their own unique way, cares about your well-being and acts on that care. Whether they patrol every night or simply purr against you when you're sad, they are showing you love in the language they know. And here is something equally important. This protective instinct shouldn't be forced or manufactured. The bond between you and your cat is valid and real, regardless of how many protective behaviors they display. Some cats express their love through play, through affection, through their presence, and that is just as meaningful. As we close, I want you to think about something. Before this video, how many of these behaviors did you notice? How many did you dismiss as random cat weirdness? And now, knowing what you know, how differently will you see your cat tomorrow morning when they are sitting by the window? Or tomorrow night when they are making their rounds? Or the next time you are having a difficult day and they mysteriously appear by your side? The truth is, our cats have been telling us they love us all along. We just needed to learn their language. We needed to understand that protection doesn't always look like barking or obvious aggression. Sometimes it looks like quiet vigilance. Sometimes it sounds like purring. Sometimes it is as simple as choosing to be in the same room, alert and aware, while you go about your life completely oblivious to their dedicated service. Your cat is small, yes, but what they offer goes beyond the physical. They offer presence. They offer awareness. They offer emotional support that can literally change your body's stress response. They offer early warning systems that might one day save your life. And most importantly, they offer unwavering devotion from a creature who chose you, who bonded with you, who considers you worth protecting. That isn't nothing. That is everything. So tonight, when your cat settles near you, or patrols the house, or stares at something you cannot see, or purrs against you when you are sad, remember what you learned here. Remember that you are not alone. You never were. You have a guardian small but mighty, dedicated and true. Now I would love to hear from you. Which of these signs did you recognize in your own cat? Were there any that surprised you or made you see past behaviors in a new light? Share your stories in the comments below. I genuinely read every single one, and I love hearing about the unique relationships you have with your cats. If this video changed how you see your cat, if it deepened your appreciation for these incredible animals, subscribe to Meowrange. We are building a community of people who truly understand and celebrate the human-feline bond. Every week, we explore new aspects of cat behavior, health, and companionship. And if you enjoyed this exploration, you might love our videos on how cats choose their favorite person, or the secret meanings behind different types of purrs, or why cats bring us gifts. Until next time, give your little guardian some extra appreciation today. Maybe a favorite treat, maybe some quality playtime, maybe just a moment where you acknowledge their presence. They have been watching over you all along. Thank you for spending this time with me, and thank you to our feline friends for being the devoted protectors we never knew we needed. Until we meet again, take care and remember, you are never truly alone when you have a cat who loves you.